Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Well, isn't that rich? I swear these politicians think we have goldfish memory, as if we instantly forget about everything from the very recent past, and we're not going to hold them account for what they themselves said not too long ago. They say one thing, they do another, they say one thing, take a real strong stance, and then take the opposite stance and think that we don't see it. Well, we do see it. We see the hypocrisy, the lies. And of course, the biggest offender is none other than sleepy, creepy Joe Biden. It's funny how fast things change, huh? When Democrats had control of Congress and the Senate, they were all powerful. He could say whatever he wanted. Now, all of a sudden, as Republicans take control of the House, his tone changes. He becomes softer. And now, all of a sudden, he wants to work with the other side. Well, not so fast, old man. Like I said, we don't have goldfish memories. You can't just pretend all of a sudden to be the great uniter now that you're in a position of weakness. We haven't forgotten your blood red speech. Here we go again. Just a general Joe Biden video. The general theme being, this Joe Biden guy is an absolute clown and cannot and should not be taken seriously. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, take a look at this headline. I'm not really gonna have to say much. You're gonna get it instantly. Quote, the American people want us to work together. Joe Biden in meeting with congressional leaders.
It's not an easy call, but I think we have to do it. The economy's at risk. We're going to work together to fund, I hope, work together to fund the government, the COVID and the war in Ukraine, all controversial and consequential issues. And we're going to find other areas of common ground, I hope, because the American people want us to work together. And so I'm going to stop there and get started because I'm sure this is going to go very quickly and everyone's going to agree on it.
Well, isn't that rich? The American people want us to work together, Joe Biden says. You know what? That's true. He's right. But you know, over the last 2 years, they've also wanted you to work together, work cohesively in passing common sense legislation and laws for the American people. Absolutely. But speaking of absolutely, you have also absolutely refused to do so for the past 2 years. Joe Biden goes from those MAGA extremist terrorists and those Republicans trying to take away your social security. They're trying to put you out on the street. They must be stopped. Democracy must be saved because Republicans are a threat to our democracy. You can't go from that to we should work together, hopping and skipping around and holding hands or some garbage like that. All of a sudden, Joe Biden's very desperate in the last little month that's left in this Democrat-controlled Congress to try to get something done. You know, I hope Republicans don't do it because at this point, Democrats don't deserve unity after all the destruction, the venom, the toxicity, the attacks, the defamation, the slander. The last thing they deserve is Republicans caving in and giving them the wins that they want and they so desperately need. Let's talk about unity. The midterms are over. Democrats have lost their control in the House. Very similar outcome to what we saw in 2018, where during Donald Trump's first term, Republicans retained control of the Senate and lost control of the House. Well, we're seeing the same thing this year. Democrats maintaining control of the Senate and losing control of the House. Well, from 2018 to 2020, what exactly did Democrats do to work together with Republicans in the Trump administration to get stuff done? Let me think real quick. Oh yeah, they tried impeaching him twice. They launched a bunch of phony investigations. They tried blocking his entire agenda. And now Democrats are relying on Republicans to play ball to get Biden's agenda passed. Yeah, I think that's a big yikes, a big pass from me. Not to mention, at the end of the day, I mean, basic common sense and understanding of fiscal responsibility in the economy dictates that if Republicans are to do the right thing for their constituents and for the American people, probably the best thing that they could do is block Joe Biden's destructive economic agenda. Get in the way of Joe Biden, turn him into an absolute lame duck loser president. That right there is possibly the best, the absolute best outcome, best case scenario moving forward. And And man, what I'm thinking is I hope that Kevin McCarthy does not cave. He seems like the type that probably will, but hopefully he doesn't, because the Democrats don't deserve that. They don't deserve a Kevin McCarthy trying to unite with Joe Biden. Again, we go back to the contrast between the Trump years and the Biden years. I mean, for instance, you have this meeting over here at the White House with congressional leaders and Joe Biden, and take a look at the scene. Well, during the Trump years, what did that look like? It looked like this. Nancy Pelosi causing drama, being a total obstructionist, trying to send the man to jail. Let's not forget that one. And so after years of putting the American people through this kind of nonsense, do Democrats now deserve Republican leadership that's going to do their bidding? I don't think so. Oh, and let's not forget this fiasco.
And my fellow Americans, the best is yet to come. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you very much.
She did.
Nancy Pelosi ripping Donald Trump's speech during the State of the Union address. I mean, that was the president's agenda. Donald Trump was presenting to the American people his plan for moving the country forward, what his priorities were going to be. And honestly, it was a great inspirational speech. And what Nancy Pelosi did there by ripping up that speech was essentially rip up Donald Trump's ambitions and agenda, saying, I am not going to play ball with the evil orange man. And so no, Joe Biden doesn't deserve unity. Joe Biden doesn't deserve unity after all of his slanderous attacks. I mean, his blood red speech was what, 3 or 4 months ago? I mean, it's funny how things change. Before the election, people like Kevin McCarthy and the MAGA Republicans in the House and in the Senate were a threat to democracy. Joe Biden was issuing a call to voters to show up to the polls, vote for the Democrats in droves, because if they didn't, these Republicans were going to take away your rights and they were going to decimate democracy. They were an existential threat to your well-being. Now, apparently, he's willing to work with them after they gain control of the House. Politics is a cynical game, folks, because of these cynical actors who act in such dishonest, despicable, divisive manner. They do what they do, and then they turn around and pretend like it never happened. Joe Biden does have an excuse. I mean, he probably just doesn't remember. The guy probably doesn't remember stuff that he said 5 minutes ago, let alone months ago. But either way, in my opinion, that is no excuse. Biden's handlers and the Democrats have set the rules, and Republicans should play by them. Stop this man's agenda. He must be stopped at any and all cost. At least that's my view. Any legislative win would not only most likely be devastating to the American economy, or any Democrat legislative win, I should clarify that statement a little bit, and any supposed legislative win would most likely increase the chances of a Joe Biden victory in 2024, and that, my friends, stopping that possibility, that potential outcome, in my opinion, should be priority numero uno. The number one priority of the Republicans right now is to ensure that the Joe Biden destruction stops, comes to an end. Republicans are notoriously weak, and if they try to take the moral high ground here, when they go low, we go high, and they cave in, they're going to look like absolute clowns, like weaklings. It's time Republicans start playing the game and start actually fighting for their interests and fighting for the interests of their constituents. Honestly, just like the Democrats do. Play the game, Republicans. Don't play their game. That's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel if you guys are up for it. I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.